You got that do not disturb?
Yeah, con. All right, we running.
So they got a little white.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Shalom to the apostle, great millstone that rule well. Shalom to all you brothers on the highways and byways. Doing the work sincerely and faithfully and continue fighting that good fight of faith. Lord willing, we are found in that number to be delivered. Again, once again, we're going to come out, prophesy, scriptures, prophecies, testimony, articles, everything we can give you, we're going to give you. Lord willing, it's edifying. Lord willing, you know, it soothes the spirit that you know that Yahweh Yahushua is on their way back, man. That's why we come out to be extensions of the Comforter to you, to let you hear these words that you may be comforted in these last days, all right? What you got?
I got an article for you, Elder.
Go ahead.
Now, this is from FoxNews.com. And he says, House passes defense bill automatically registering men from 18 to 26 years old for draft. And he says the House of Representatives passes a measure on Friday, automatically registering men aged from 18 to 26 for selective services. It was part of the annual National Defense Authorization Act, which set out the U.S. government, military, and national security priority over the next fiscal year. So now, with the situation that's happening right now, you know, how all the nations are getting for war, and how Russia just right on the east coast of Miami just have their ship just running right through, you know, going toward Cuba, showing their strength and intimidating the United States of America. Now they're making preparation for possible of a third world nuclear war, which they know there's going to be a third world nuclear war, you know. And then on top of that, the age is 18 to 26. Now you got this new Gen Z, you know, a lot of young men.
Gen Z.
You know,
Gen Z.
You know, we call them Generation Z. You know, they're now out there making response video to what has happened to the house bill now that's not passed. Because you know they have been living all their life in peaceful in their comfort zone, and now war's about to pop off. You know, now they're saying that they may have to go to the very front line to go to war and die. And now a lot of them saying that no, I'm not going. A lot of them saying that make me.
Right.
But go ahead, brother.
Let me say this real quick too.
Yeah.
So when 9/11 hit, you know, it was an open door. There was people flocking to these recruitment centers because they was fighting for the cause that they believed that their country was under attack. All right. So now it only makes sense that this time around, people become hip to the inner workings of this system, man. Especially with this military. People become hip. So now they're gonna have to force you to go join that military. They're gonna have to put a stronghold on you. They're gonna put damn near, you know, we used to speak about the North American Union, where Canada, America, and Mexico were all on the same page, and so to speak. Meaning if somebody decided that they were going to try to flee to avoid the draft, they would all automatically round it up. All right, well, it's going to happen, man. Scripture say so. What you got?
Revelations 11 and 14.
Yep.
The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Right, and we on the precipice of that third woe. As a matter of fact, third woe has already started. It's something we can call a cold war, but it's about to get hot. Give me 2nd Ezra 16 and 33. There's a cold war that's now starting to become hot. Vladimir Putin is making big statements right now. All right, and these statements that he's making got these devils over here trembling, because they understand and they know that the military might that Russia represents is going to be something to combat with, man. All right, hold on one second. Go ahead, brother.
It's 2nd Ezra 16 and 33.
Yep.
And it reads, and the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms.
Yep.
And the woman shall mourn, having no husband.
Yep.
And their daughter shall mourn, having no helpers.
Yep.
In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed,
Yep.
and their husbands shall perish of famine.
So they're gonna send these cats over there, man. It's gonna be a draft. You're gonna get sent over to these other lands, and you're gonna be put to the task of fighting for this country that you so-called hate. You're gonna be put to the task, man. Especially you Jakes out there. You Jakes gonna be the first ones rounded up because you're expendable. You're useless in this place, man. And Esau knows that, and that's how they perceive you. So who not to grab first for an open draft, man. Jay,
Put it in the bed for
Draft is, I'm sorry, Brandon.
go ahead, no, go ahead.
The draft is very telling, right? Because you gave the example of 9/11 and how people were adamant about the defense of their country, whereas now it's not the same, right? I was thinking to myself as you were speaking, Elder, I said, that's because now there's an all-out expose on just wickedness in general, but in particular the wickedness that America has, perpetuated in the earth. And now people are hip to the goings on. So the adamancy of defending your country is dwindling. Because it's like, why would I fight for a place that they probably went over there starting some trouble? That's the mindset, right? So now, when Isaiah 47 comes to mind, where it talks about how we're going to expose this place. And of course, the elders getting ready to read 2nd Ezra 16, Joel the 3rd chapter. There's a scripture where it talks about, I think it's in Isaiah, where it said this battle shall be fought with confused noise. Was that Isaiah 9?
Yeah, 9 and 5.
Yeah. So it's all of these things. We're in the say atmosphere of these things that we talk about coming to pass, right? This draft, we always said there was going to be a draft. And we used to point at the recruitment center. Hey, ain't nobody going in there, but we only come out on Sundays, so we don't know what it looks like during the week.
I know what it looks like. On Saturday, I start come out with it. It's still dead.
Yeah, don't tell nobody your business.
Oh,
But
no.
the point being is the lack of, let me say it this way, patriotism has dwindled.
Yep.
The patriotism is not the same as it used to be. You got people that care more about their favorite sports team than they do about their country. Right?
Oh, yeah.
This is Jeremiah 51:30. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight.
Yeah.
They have remained in their holes.
Hold on. That brother be in the spirit. Read that again, brother.
This is Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 51:30.
Come on. This is Jeremiah 51:30. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight.
Forborne meaning they refuse. Right? And so when you look at this video that this brother just showed, he said, I'll break both my legs. He said, I'll get in a car accident on purpose to make sure I don't have to go to the store.
But it also brings to mind that video that was floating around when these U.S. soldiers was in a building and them bombs are going off around them. They up under the table, dude, you're pushing me. They trying to hide while mortars and bombs are exploding all around you. And this is going to be the sentiment of that mindset when that time comes, man. They ain't going to want to fight because when they understand the magnitude of what's going on, because America, what they try to do, they try to push out this big machoism mentality, where America's the biggest, the baddest, the strongest. Then when they get over there, they realize they're fighting savages over there, man. People who are lawless.
They were born to fight.
That's it. Their nature, go back to their nature. Genesis. Genesis, 16. Grab that, brother.
And the thing about it, there's some veteran soldiers who often ask themselves the question, how they don't fear death? They just went out in the middle of nowhere, took themselves out on everybody else.
But it's an honor to die though. In their country. It's an honor for these people to die for the cause. What happens? What's the first thing they say when they press that button? Allah Akbar! Boom! It's an honor for them, man. So in the Americans get over there, dude, you see that? Whoa, wow, these guys are crazy. They ain't got no qualms with blowing you and themselves up to send the cause.
Yeah, patriotism. Over here, you just fight because you have to. But over there, they're real patriots. They're really fighting for their way of life and their culture and the way they do things. But really, America is the bully, man. The scriptures say how was that?
50 and 30.
23?
The hammer of the whole earth. It's Jeremiah 50 and 20.
Go ahead.
This is Genesis 16. I start at 11, and it says, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord had heard thy affliction, and he will be a wild man, and his hands will be against every man, and every man's hand against him.
And hold it right there. And look whose hands against them. Every man in the land, every man in the world is against them. The Arabs, they're terrorists, all these things. He would be a wild man. They fought with Russia years back, man.
Yeah.
They put the ass whooping on Russia. So therefore, they are strong people, man. They were also made 12 princes, right? So they was even given some type of status. Go ahead.
And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren.
That's it. All right, go ahead, brother. Let this brother finish off.
This is Jeremiah 51:30. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their halls. Their might had failed. They become as women.
That's right. That's right. They become as women because America, throughout the years growing up, back in the early 70s, coming up, mid 70s, and so on up until present, America had always had that theme: the bravest, the baddest, the strongest. The scripture proud. Now the scripture says, "How thou also become as weak as we," because now the playing field's level with that nuclear capability. Go ahead, brother.
No. See, back you up. Scripture say that the Heavenly Father have mingled a perverse spirit.
Yep.
You got transmissions inside the military. So, like these other nations, they're not going to take the U.S. military as much as a threat.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Transmissions. You know, and these other countries can't even fathom how this even works. How is this allowed? How is this even put in place? And you gonna send that over here to fight against us? Shit. They're gonna smack them around to last out of here. Well, go ahead.
It says they have burned her dwelling place. Her bars are broken.
Yep.
One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end.
And that's ultimately the goal, is to take America. America's going to be destroyed with thermonuclear destruction. Any spirit and any person in this country, when that third world war heats up to a hot war, which is right around the corner, we here. This is it. Them thermonuclear missiles are going to launch over here, and they're going to destroy this place, man. And every soul that's going to be in this bad boy outside of the men of the Lord and those whom the Lord have mercy on is going to be destroyed and die over here. Go ahead.
I got an article from endtimeheadlines.org, and the heading reads, Russia deploying air and sea assets for military exercises in Caribbean, according to U.S. officials.
Right. Now, Russia is going to be the key component to all this. That North country. They've got missiles and rockets off the coast of Venezuela. They're joining hand in hand with the Iranians, Ahmadinejad, and Kim Jong-un. They're all coming together. America's finished. That's why when you read in the book of Obadiah, matter of fact, give me Obadiah. Start at 6. Okay, continue on.
Another article is similar, again from endtimeheadlines.org. Russia TV claims that Moscow could deploy ICBM missiles in Mexico.
And that's another thing. They're also Russia is now joining hands in hand with Mexico. Here you have so-called Mexico and so-called South American countries joining forces with Russia. Why is that? America's finished, man. Right. America's finished.
I just read what's a lot.
Yeah, go ahead. Read on, brother.
Kremlin propagandists have claimed that countries in Latin America, including Mexico, could host missiles that can strike American targets.
Listen,
that's in the U.S. backyard.
Listen, that's going to be no problem. That's going to be no problem for those missiles to reach over here. Not only to mention, it's only going to take less than a half hour for a missile to leave Russia to hit America, man. And once it hit America, in 1 hour, America's going to be destroyed, man. Right. 1 hour. Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 50:14.
Yep.
It says, put yourselves
in array
against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow.
And that's why these smaller nations said, thou become as weak as we, because they have nuclear capabilities now. 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, these other nations were afraid of America because America was ruled with an iron fist. There was ruled with draconian rule, smashing these small nations that even dared to speak bad about America. But now they don't give a damn. They over there burning American flags.
Yep.
They burned American flags. Can you imagine that 25, 30 years ago? They burned some flags. Esau would send some jets over there and drop all kinds of bombs. But they can't do that now because everybody possesses the ability to shoot rockets and drop bombs.
Okay.
Go ahead, Elder.
It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord.
Right, and at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to what? For what the people have done to the Lord's people on this side. The Lord's coming back to destroy these nations, man. All right?
It says, shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her, as she hath done, do unto her. Cut off the sower from Babylon.
Right, that her is America. America's that her. Stand beside her and guide her. This is the her. America, these are the things, these is the place where the sins has reached up to the heavens. Go ahead.
Cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest.
Right.
For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn every one to his people, and they shall flee every one to his own land.
Right, going back to what? You're gonna pick a side, and you're gonna go back to who you know and who you're familiar with. We like to use somewhat the scenarios of somebody being in prison or locked up. When a man goes into prison, if he's a white man, Puerto Rican man, black, he's gonna go back to who he's familiar with, who he can relate to. Likewise, these northern nations, they're not gonna stay in America. They can call themselves American all they want, but this is just the title. They're gonna go back to who they feel protected by.
If you have a place.
That's right.
I
Go ahead.
got, well, I got this is an article.
Let me just read this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the article. This is Joel.
It's happening in Israel right now.
I know.
This is Joel 3:9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears.
Right.
Let the weak say, I am strong.
Right, and those weapons now are being turned from farming instruments, so to say, into weapons of war. Let the weak say, I am strong. You had your Turkeys, you had your Irans, you had all these small countries now popping up saying, let the weak say, I am strong. Because now, not only that, but America, Russia has become a big brother to these small countries. You know, and again, the analogy. You got your little brother going to the high school now, and them little high schools they're beating up on him. What's he going to do? Go get his big brother. That's why all these nations aren't fearful of America anymore.
Right.
Because Russia has now become an asset with them to help them, to aid them in the event that another country such as America tries to enforce their will upon them, man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Verse 11, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be weakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great.
The time is coming, man. All these nations are getting together. Let me get with this brother right here.
That's like I
Come.
This is, I start at Ezekiel 38, and I start at 3.
Yep.
And it says, and thus said the Lord of power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal.
Right, when you go to the ancient maps, Gog and Magog is the Russian region. That's what Russia is known as today. Gog and Magog is known as Russia today. Go ahead.
It says, I will put thee back and put a hooks in thy jaws.
Right, he would draw these back because 2008, 2007, you had people talking about Russia will never be a superpower again. And here we are. And I example myself exclusively. I had a conversation with my boss. I was like, yeah, it's back in 2007. I was like, yeah, Russia's about to make that move. He looked at me like, yeah, crazy. Yeah, Russia? Yeah, right. Sure as shit. As this thing started to unfold, hey, you was right about that. Let me tell you something, man. It's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. I wasn't right, but the spirit of the prophecies are coming to pass. We speaking about them. Go ahead.
It says, I will put thee back and put hooks in thy jaws.
That's talking about Russia. Go ahead.
And I will bring thee forth and all thy armies and horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shield, and all of them handling swords.
Right. So now the Lord's talking about a future prophecy. Now we're living this out right now. That's right. What was written over 2,000 years ago is now being played out as we speak. Russia's now being that superpower that's now flexing its muscle. And not only is it flexing its muscle, it's going around with all its allies and saying, listen, come with us, stand with us, join with us. And these BRICS nations are going to show and prove you that, to show you that when they drop the dollar bill here in America. When they stop using the American dollar as the world's reserve currency, It's over, man.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia just came in.
Yeah.
It's over. So people here in America don't realize their dollar bill's about to be out of here. And then when that happens, what they're gonna do? What they're gonna put into place? MOTB, Mark of the Beast. That's what's gonna be your next mean of buying something. You're gonna have to have that chip. All right. So where we at? You good on that?
Couple more, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Watch your back, y'all.
Actually, verse 5, it reads, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, and all of them with shields and helmets, and Gomer and all his bands, and the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, and thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
That's right. So Russia's going to be a guard unto all these other nations. And these nations he just mentioned are actual living nations as we speak, man. This ain't no ancient history where these nations are long gone. This is here. We here in the present, man. Go ahead, read that off.
Now this is the article from the economictimes.com. And the headline read, why is there a Warship nuclear submarine just 200 miles on the coast of Florida?
Right. Now there's Russian submarines off the coast of Florida. There's Russian submarines out by Venezuela. That's why they said surround her. You know, all you that bend the boat, shoot at her. Okay? Surround her around the boat.
Set yourselves
In a raid round about. Set yourself in a raid round about. And that's what's actually taking place. So as the brother read earlier, the third world cometh quickly. That war represents world war. So therefore the third world's coming quickly. Go ahead. You got a quick precept? Hot off the press. Go ahead, brother.
Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, the 1st verse, and I'm gonna jump down to the 8th. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. And here I'm gonna jump straight to the point. Verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace.
Right. And we're in the time of war right now. This is the time that we're living in. These nations are gearing up for war. So when you go to Ecclesiastes the 3rd chapter, and I think it was the Birds that made a song. Was it the Birds?
Birds.
Yep. They made a song based off of the scripture.
Yeah.
The whole scripture is their whole song is based off of that scripture. And again, it's about balance. Because the Lord said, give me that, is it Proverbs 11:1? Give me Proverbs 11:1 real quick, go ahead.
Proverbs 11:1, a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight.
Right, because everybody likes to talk about how much the Lord loves, but if a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, that means he has to hate. You see? So the Lord is a man of war. The Lord does hate people. Go ahead.
That's it. Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name.
So when you go to war, and they strap you up with boots and grenades and rifles and guns, are you going to war as a happy man? No. You're going to war to kill somebody. You're going to war because you have now given an assignment that it's either going to be you or them. One or the other. So this is the time we're in, a time for peace and a time for war. And a time for peace is long gone. We're in a time of war right now. And this is what the prophecy should be about. You should be prophesying about the times that we're living in right now. Ain't nobody happy out here, man. Ain't nobody joyful around here. People living paycheck to paycheck. People don't know if they're going to put food on the table. And what's going to happen when you can't do that? You're going to go out and make it happen for your family.
That's right.
Whether you're going to take somebody's life or whether you're going to take somebody's food or their assets. This is the time that we're coming into right now.
Can I just finish this article real quick, Elder? Now, this is continue from the article, right? And he says the Russians are coming. The Russians are coming.
Russians. Go ahead.
He said the Russians are coming. The Russians are coming is a movie that was released in the 1960s. We showcased the thriving Cold War between the two superpowers, the U.S. and the USSR. The situation is somewhat similar in 2024 in the real world. 4 Russian ships, including a Russian submarine, have reached Cuba on Wednesday, located just 200 miles off the coast of Florida. Does this pose a threat to the security of the U.S.? And what are these joint naval exercises that are being conducted?
You know, America loves to go around to these small nations and strong arm them. And I'm thinking of Iran in particular. They want to put sanctions on Iran. Iran's not supposed to have nuclear capabilities or uranium. They're not supposed to, but But Russia has these things. You ain't said a goddamn thing about Russia. Because America's a bully. All right? So these countries that are now getting support from Russia, they're stepping up. They're taking their, Superman came in like this. That's how these nations, they're taking their shirt off. What you going to do? Go ahead, brother.
And real quick, and also too on the news, when the ship was coming close to Cuba, Cuba found a cannon as a welcoming for the water to come in, and the news media, people started getting a little nervous. They started wondering what's going on, and that just Russia intimidating America, showing them that listen, I got the power to get close to your border, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like they're baiting America to do something.
Yep.
I got a quick article.
All right,
It's
some
just going to be the
article.
headline.
I'm gonna go to the article, and we're gonna come right down the line, right here.
All right, this is from political.eu, and the heading reads, Russia warns U.S. of fatal consequences over miscalculations in Ukraine.
So before you start that, right, America are the only ones who are in total darkness, man. They see what's happening. Now, it's because the news system is tainted and it covers up all the real deal information that you need to know. Of course it is. They're not going to tell you that Russia's on the outskirts of America. They're not going to tell you that these other nations now have missiles pointed over at America. They're not going to tell you these things. So therefore, it behoove you to hear the prophets of the Lord and take heed to these things, because it's going to be too late once this thing starts breaking down. You got a quick precept?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you just said that. This is Jeremiah 28:8. It says that the prophet that had been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries, against great kingdoms, of war, evil, and of pestilence.
Right, the prophets that have been before us have done the same thing in the ancient times. Prophesied against war, evil, and pestilence. Now this is the time we're doing it. Speaking of pestilence, they're talking about the bird, there's the N5H1?
Yeah.
H5N1, something like that? Right, you watch. That's gonna start taking heat. It's gonna start gaining speed. It's gonna start gaining speed. So as we speak about the pestilence, now we gotta be careful, because we'll get hit with misinformation or mismedical information. Your channel gets a strike in the whole nine. But we'll throw out hints out there so you can know. You think that whole thing with the last thing that just took place, that locked you up for 3 years? You think that was something? Wait till the shit that's go down the next time around. Go ahead.
Another article. We've been pushing Russia, but these other nations are all in unison.
That's it.
Again, from endtimeheadlines.org. North Korea issues a new nuclear warning to the West and South Korea.
You see that? North Korea. Now everything's coming to pass, man. All the prophecies and all the nations are coming to pass. So therefore, it's only a matter of time before you people start feeling the effects of these things. Because there's nothing of it. Give me that Isaiah 34, 37. Come sit on the ground, there is no throne.
Isaiah 47.
47.
I got it right here.
Yeah, give me that.
Isaiah chapter 47.
That's the old Michael Olive, boy. The brother thinking it, Michael Olive already got it. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, Isaiah 47:1, it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon.
This is America. America's that virgin daughter. America has never been touched militarily by any other country. So it's that virgin daughter of Babylon. It's taking on the same characteristics of ancient Babylon. So it becomes a virgin daughter. Go ahead.
Sit on the ground, there is no throne.
Sit on the ground, there is no throne. Go ahead.
O daughter of the Chaldean,
Go ahead.
for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, because men look at women as a tender and delicate, person. This your girl, That's how. But again, going back to stand beside her and guide her. The scripture says, shoot at her, spare no arrows. So she's not going to be called tender and delicate, because when you come into New York, the first thing you see is that Statue of Liberty. That brings joy to people's hearts, because when they come here, they think they've made it. Oh gosh, we're here to America, we're going to live out our dreams. Only to come to find out, it becomes a nightmare when you get over here. Go ahead.
This is Revelation 18:2.
Yep.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Right, and at this point, when it says Babylon is fallen, it's going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. America, O virgin daughter of Babylon, right? Now it's being told that that virgin daughter is now fallen. It's become the the cage of every foul spirit and in the cage of every unclean bird. Meaning what? There's going to be nothing left over here to a certain point of doleful creatures. Desert creatures are going to be dwelling over here. America's going to be finished. Go ahead.
Verse 3, it says, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
Yep.
And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich with the abundance of her delicacy."
Right, because America has outsourced all its resources, and all these other lands become rich off of this place. And this is why, as the brother elder reads down, this is why it's going to tell you that these merchants of the earth, these kings of the earth, they're going to howl and mourn for her, because this place is how they became rich. This is the place where they became very lucrative, at the expense and at the bones and the backs of mainly these people on the side over there. Go ahead, elder.
Yeah, verse 4 it says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins."
Right, come back to the Heavenly Father. Come back to the Lord. Know the Lord's name. Know who you are as a person. You're not just a so-called Negro, a so-called Puerto Rican. Those are all titles our people were given. But as you see on this sign, that's your true biblical nationality. Right. So to behoove you to understand who you are as a people, that maybe the Lord have mercy on you before all these things take place, because they're unfolding faster than you can believe. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins,
right,
and that ye receive not of her plagues."
Right, and the ultimate plague is going to be them thermonuclear missiles that are going to destroy this place. All right, we've already been saturated with the living of how, you know, we're forced to go to work, we're forced to buy, we're forced to do all these things. So much so, we look at these things in America as a joyful thing. But it's been a curse unto us. All right, go ahead.
Yep. Verse 5, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquity."
That's right.
"Reward her," that's why I pulled this out, "you shall stand beside her and guide her."
Right.
"Reward her, even as she rewarded you,
Yep,
and double unto her double, according to her works."
Let me show you her works. Let me show you her works. Look up. You see her works? You see them chemtrails?
Yep.
That's not even clouds covering the sky. And if you look over towards the sun, you see another one coming by. According to her works. That's nothing but barium. That's poison right there. So this place needs to be destroyed. Esau's in control of all this. The water, the food, everything you can possibly imagine. And Lord knows the shit that they're giving these kids these days, you can forget it, man. There's gonna be a bunch of zombies walking around here if the Lord don't destroy this place. Go ahead.
"And the cup which she hath filled, fill unto her double.
Yep.
How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously.
Yep.
So much torment and sorrow give her.
Yep.
For she said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow."
Right. But now again, she saith. That's also telling you that what America identifies herself as that beautiful woman. It identifies herself as that leading lady. Go ahead.
"For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow."
Right. Now, we read earlier in 2nd Ezra 16th chapter about the men who are going to get drafted into this war and go over there and be put to death for the ideas of this country. Well, America's going to see sorrow. She's going to be made desolate. She's going to be a widow, because the Lord's going to destroy this place. You know, we are the prophets of the Lord telling you these things. If you don't believe us, just sit tight. Sit tight. You're going to start to see it all unfold. You're going to catch a news article like, oh shit, this guy said something about that. Oh, guess what these guys are talking about? Go ahead. Go ahead, right here. Go ahead.
It says, "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire."
She shall be utterly burned with fire. Thermonuclear fire. America's going to be burnt with thermonuclear fire. Right. It doesn't matter what you believe or what you feel. Every weapon that has been made for destruction, has been made for death, has been made for harmful purposes. Likewise, them thermonuclear missiles, and it's been made for America. Those missiles have been made for America. Go ahead.
Yep, it says, "For strong is the Lord who judgeth her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning."
You see that? They're going to see the smoke of it burning. You know, when the Twin Towers went down, they showed you this aerial pictures of the smoke just rising up, and the smoke rising up. all they're doing is giving you a simulation of what they're going to do to America, man. That's a small little visual for you. You know, they show the satellites, they show these planes. Oh gosh, look at this! How terrific, how terrible, and the smoke was just going up. You know, and the smoke was just going up.
Yeah, that was a funny. Well, it's funny now, but it wasn't funny then, man. When I say funny, it was it's a funny feeling, a somber feeling,
right?
That had fallen upon the whole country. Everybody holding hands, and,
right? Praying all the streets, praying, holding hands.
And not only that, if I may add too. You know, doing that 9/11 building, that caught fire, the furnace was so hot that people have to commit suicide rather than get burned in that building. They were jumping in the building, and they were firemen were describing that how you can hear the thundering sound.
Right. There was sliding down the side of the building as it was coming down.
There was a show called Faces of Death, right? And in one of the series, this dude was up on the ledge. And he's up there, his eyes you can see. I'm gonna do it. He's like on the 30th floor, right? He's up there, I love her. And he fucking, all of a sudden he launched, right? He launched, and everyone's like, oh. And of course they interviewed Jake. He was like, yeah, you know, I seen him up there, and when he jumped off, it sounded like a slab of liver when it hit the floor. It sounded like a slab of liver when it hit the floor. Splat, you know? Yep, that was him. That over, yo, but that's Jake. But you know, going back to what the brother was talking about, and in the towers, people were jumping off those windows, and they was coming down hard, you know, and turning themselves into mincemeat, you know. Go ahead.
Verse 10 it says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
Yep.
And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Because there's gonna be nothing else to buy over here, unless they want to come pick up some dirt, some pitch, some soot, some gold creatures. That's about it.
And also too, if I may add to, speaking of merchandise, right? They said that America is the #1 consumer in the world, and there was this Elamite who sent a video a while back saying that they made stuff for so cheap, but yet America will buy it for a higher price, and they're amazed the amount of money they will spend, you know. And it's that they're so happy that America is buying their merchandise. They could think of anything and sell to America for a big price, but now when the shit goes down, goes on smoke, you know. Like you said, that's it. That's all she wants, man.
Verse 12 it says, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and of fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all Thyan wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses.
These are all the things that America has been known for, all these costly things, all these things that, you know, people love to buy and to build from, to make things from.
And horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men.
See that? And slaves and souls of men was also on that list of things to be purchased and things to be sold. Okay? Souls of men. And we understand that to be who? Who were the primary people that were sold? The Israelites.
Oh yeah.
Bottom line. Go ahead.
Verse 14. It says in the I don't know what tribe she is, but she ain't Hammer for sure.
She ain't got that good hair.
She's a bugaboo. For those of you who've seen School Days, Verse 14 it says, "In the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly,
are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all.
Right. Why ain't they gonna find them? Because America's gonna be destroyed. That's why they're not gonna find them. That's why these kings, these merchants of the earth are gonna wail because of her. They're not gonna buy her goods anymore. It's gonna be all destroyed. That's right. And rightfully so.
I'm just gonna read a few more
Go ahead.
verses. It says, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off from the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city?
That's it. That's it. And the key point, one of the, several key points, but one of that stands out is for 1 hour. 1 hour, such great riches have come to naught. All right, and it's hard to even fathom. It took me about an hour to get here. You know, traffic and all. You know, the time it took me to get here, America's gonna be destroyed. Think about that, man. Think about that's a heavy thought to think about.
Yeah, but that's just to say too. You know, it'll take an hour for it to completely burn, but then the missiles ain't gonna take 20, 30 minutes to get over there. And now that they got ships that are setting up off the coast of the United States, you're gonna get over here even quicker, right? We always thought because the title was ICBM that they would shoot directly from Russia over here. But as you can see, what Russia's doing, they're positioning their warships closer and closer to the borders of the United States, right? And so it ain't going to take too long for one missile to go up into the the atmosphere and then come back down, and then warheads come out of that missile and drop on this place. What's that? Joel, the second chapter.
Get on it.
Joel, the second chapter, when it says, the land was green before them.
Yeah, Garden of Eden.
Garden of Eden before them. Yeah, go ahead with that. And then somebody get Joel, the second chapter.
This is Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 18.
Yeah.
Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath.
Because hey, shalom, y'all watching this real quick. Because America is known as a rich nation, right? And so, in other words, your money is not going to be able to save you out of this.
Oh, I got
This judgment is the judgment of the Heavenly Father,
Right.
and it has to happen,
Right.
right? We can say all we want as far as our feelings are, because of course those people on that sign are the most disenfranchised, right? So we can talk about our feelings, but this ultimately is the judgment of the Heavenly Father, right? You can argue that the flood happened just to separate this land over here so that the Lord can destroy it later. You know?
It says, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy,
Yep.
for he shall make even a speedy riddance.
Right, it says the fire of his jealousy. What is he jealous about? The way that this land and the people that run this land treated the apple of his eye. That's where that jealousy came from, right? And that fire is speaking about, like we've been talking about all day, is those missiles that these other nations have ready and pointed in this direction. You know, you can think of it this way. We talk about how the missiles today are called broken arrows, right? And so when it says in Jeremiah 50, 51 to 14, where it says, all ye that bend the bow, you can imagine just a bunch of men standing there with the arrows pointing all in this direction, man.
Let's get a missile. I'm going to this picture real quick. Now, this is Isaiah 54, verse 16. They're talking about, the building of weapons, right?
What's that? Isaiah what?
54, 16.
That's the one.
He says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coal in the fire.
Right. I have created the smith that blow off the coals in the fire. As a matter of fact, I was watching a video. I was watching a video of Elder Pastor Ramla this morning. He was going into this. The smiths of ancient times, they made all kinds of things, hammers and all kinds of tools, but ultimately those smiths made weapons of war, right? They made swords and axes, parts that went on what you call catapults, right? So that's what the smiths did, and it's no different. And this time, those smiths being the scientists that put those missiles together. Go ahead.
And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy.
Right, and I've created the waster to destroy. Right? Ultimately, all these weapons that have been created in the earth are all of the spirit of the Heavenly Father. He said we read earlier that he's a man of war. right? So all those weapons that we see, those weapons of destruction, guns, knives, swords, tanks, catapults, all these different instruments of war over the history of man, they've all come from the Heavenly Father.
And if I may add too, the Lord also said this, that in the last day, knowledge shall increase.
Right.
So the knowledge that the Most High gave to them to build that nuclear missile is also a sign of the end that is coming.
Yep. Go ahead.
I got something real quick. Isaiah 13, and I'll start at verse 17.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned they're not going to care about their money. Right?
Yep.
Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
Right. In other words, you ain't going to buy your way out of this one. Yeah. Right. You can, like you have, I always talk about that book, their Confessions of an Economic Hitman, and they use money to convince these third world countries to allow America to get up in there, right? But in this, you ain't gonna be able to buy yourself out. That's right. There's gonna be a war. It's gonna be a war of loud noise. It's gonna be a war of fire, right? That's the war that's gonna be fought. If we can go back to Isaiah 9:2, that'd be good. You got something to say?
I just want to say something because Russia's always been under sanctions. They've gotten used to it, so they built up some type of resistance to get through any type of
so in other words, they've always had their some level of independence where they didn't need the rest of the world to do it. They got their own oil, right? They got money, all of those different things, right? So like you said, now you can't sanction your way out of a disagreement. They're already self-sufficient, and Vladimir Putin is the type of leader. Well, he really got his middle finger up to the rest of the world. He got that Beanie Siegel mentality. You get down and you lay down. We don't have to be afraid of them. And not only is he defending his own country, he's also defending other countries that that don't quite have the same resources as Russia does, right? And like the elder said, I think it gets overlooked, right? Because it's a big part of prophecy. Russia being at one point in time separate from each other. What was it? Something Soviet Republic or something like that.
USSR.
Yeah, right. So when you have that, with all those Russian, let's say, territories being separate from each other, and then when the influx of the men of the Lord came out at the very same time, you had Russia getting back together, saying that they were again one power, right? One and all together. That's all biblical prophecy.
Y'all pick up the waters.
When you have Russia driving around their missiles down the roadway so they can show the people their might, that means they mean business, man. They're not playing around. And like another point that the elder made here was that our people don't, and I'm saying our people, that's our people, yeah, for sure. But Americans don't know. Most Americans have no idea that there's a war getting ready to happen, right? And this is, and the reason why you should pay attention to it is because this is one of the indicators that the Lord Yahweh Shai gave to let you know what time we're in, right? He said there was going to be wars, and they asked him in the third verse, they said, look, man, how are we supposed to know when are these things going to come to pass? When is this thing going to pop off? And one of the indicators that he gave was wars and rumors of wars. That was one of the indicators. So when we talk about war in this way, it's because it was prophesied that would be one of the indicators to the time we were in, right? Because what did he say? They said to him, they said, Lord, will thou at this time now restore the kingdom unto Israel? He told him, he said, man, it ain't for you to know the time, right? But I'm going to give you these signs, I'm going to give you these clues, I'm going to give you these different things, these different prophecies that will be happening and coming to pass in those days. Go ahead, bro. You got something? Yeah.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
Yep.
And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Right. So this is the time. He said, look, measure thou the time. Right? How do you measure the time? You measure the time by those prophecies that he gave. Let's go to that real quick. You still got that Matthew 24? Let's go there for a split second.
Matthew 24 and 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be?
He said, yeah, man, you keep telling us that the end is coming. What's going on? How are we supposed to know? How are we going? What are going to be the indicators? Right? Go ahead.
And what shall be the sign of thy coming in the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you.
Right.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed.
Right, you're gonna have people coming saying that they me. Right? That's one of them. Go ahead.
And shall deceive many. Verse 6, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not
So you're
yet.
gonna hear about wars, rumors of wars, so all of these different things. We talked about at the opening. We talked about them implementing a draft or passing a bill that was gonna allow them to implement the draft. We haven't had a draft since the 70s, man. Imagine that. Like my grandfather, my actual grandfather got drafted and he fought in the Vietnam War. My grandfather, my mother's dad, got drafted in Vietnam. We haven't had a draft of that magnitude since those times, right? So it shows the level of desperation that we're in, right? Because, like the elder said, there was a time, even though there was a draft in the 60s and the 70s, right? Even though there was a draft, it was an honor for a family to send one of their own to fight for the country. It was like, yeah, my son is in the military. My nephew, he's a soldier in the army. It was an honor for someone in your. I think I must be. It was an honor for somebody in your family to fight in the war, right? But now in these times, it's almost, how do I say it? Say it again.
Dishonor.
I would say it this way. I agree with you. I would say it this way, that it's now become mainstream to talk bad about America. It's become mainstream. Like, it started out with the men of the Lord on the highways and byways, but now it's commonplace for people to talk bad about America, wicked, slavery, and they did this and did that. Now it's pop culture.
Now, just to back you up, you got the American soldiers now burning themselves alive, man.
Right. So you imagine that. You imagine a kid. I'll be honest, there ain't no 18-year-old that I would have fighting for me, because they're all airheads, man. I have one. I have a 19-year-old. Yeah, I would never send him over to war. They're not getting a good soldier in that guy. I love him to death. No, I know I sound funny. I love him to death, but they're not getting no soldier. They're getting a kid that want to be up underneath his mother. His mother want to tell him, no, do this next. Okay, now do this next. They're not getting a good soldier out of that guy, right? So if they imagine all the other 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds, when you the 20-year-olds in America, they're worried about going to have a good time. They want to get high. They want to get drunk. They want to have orgies. They play video games. That's it. They'll fight in war on Call of Duty. They'll be on the Call of Duty all night, telling the motherfucker on the headset, "Fuck you," all night. Fuck you. Oh fuck. He's over there. Yeah, whatever the fuck it is they do. They'll cut somebody out on the other side of the screen all night. But you want to send them over there where it's hot? I'm telling you, you're not getting a group of good soldiers. You're getting a bunch of kids that just have, we used to say, leave it to beaver lifestyle. I wouldn't be no good soldier. I've been sitting in the house playing basketball. I might, eat a sandwich or two. I'm not worried about fighting in no war. America didn't make soldiers. Like the elder said earlier, those people over there in those countries, man, they've been fighting since they were kids. You got 7, 8-year-old kids carrying long guns. This is their life. Yeah, this is their life. They're raising kids over there to be soldiers. Go ahead, bro.
Real quick. Look, this is why America also puts these movies in place to try to corral the morale of these teens by putting these war movies in. You got Mark Wahlberg, Lone Survivor, all these type of movies they put in place to make them feel like a war hero. And they're hoping to drive the spirit of these young 19-year-olds, as the elder's talking about, to their feet. Say, yeah, I want to do it. I want to be a hero. And you see the Navy SEALs coming up from the water. They come up, and their eyes are like this underwater. They're trying to push that. Go ahead.
So the people in this country ain't ready to fight no major war, man. And another thing too, another thing too, like you had. Yeah, like a bag of laundry over there.
This is Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Right, and so this is going to be a different kind of war. That's right. Of course, you're going to need, the pawns. That's what this 18 to 26. Those young men they're going to be the pawns that you just send out there to do whatever, right?
They're gonna turn their hand. So it matters.
I just wanted to say that when you get drafted into the military, a lot of men don't want to fight with somebody that got drafted in. They don't want to fight with someone that had to forcibly get put into the military. They want to fight with men that willingly went into the military.
Right. But let me tell you this also. A lot of these people that go in who got college degrees, they're automatically made officers. And now you're putting a guy with no military experience as your commander, leading you down some Death Valley where he gonna tell you to go down there. You've been in the shit, as they say, 2 or 3 years, but we shouldn't go down there. But since he's a superior officer, you gotta follow that order. That's another thing they don't want to do. They don't want to fight behind somebody that don't have experience.
I got a quick quote. It says, I think it's Rashid. It says, tough times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create tough times. You have to raise warriors, not parasites. Yeah, and that's all our people want to do, man. Is leech. I was watching this family over here. They got their dad out for Father's Day. So it's my man right here in the red shirt. Like, his wife is over there. He got all his kids there, right? And so he was listening to the elders speak, and he did like this. He waved his hand. but yeah, you gotta watch. You gotta watch. So his wife was sitting over there, shaking her head in affirmation, right? But my thing is this, right? Just point out the lie. That's it. Don't be facetious about it. Point out if there's anything we're saying that's not true. Point it out. We'll have some discussion about it. We'll have some discussion. Has Russia set up warships like the coast of the United States? Is that true or is that false? Can we go into the scriptures and show you how that links up with prophecy? Yes. Right. So what is it that you are in disdain about? Listen, the time for a strong America is over, man. The time for a strong America is over. Really, again, if you have the ability to go to the country that's your home country, you should go there, man. Nothing good is going to happen. Like you said, the elder mentioned this earlier. When we were reading Isaiah 47, we talked about how no one touched this place militarily, right? So you can say two wars happened here on the mainland. You can say the Revolutionary War, and you can say the Civil War, right? But since then, there hasn't been any real skirmish with another. Anytime we have, as a country, a problem with another country, we go to that country and fight. They never do it here, but it's coming here. It's coming here, right? And they're showing you that. They're showing strength by putting their ships in the coast of America. And they're showing you that, right? So it's gonna be brought to your doorstep, as they say, right? And most people don't know that. Most Americans don't know that. They're in the park enjoying the weather. They're planning, the next barbecue.
Makes a lot of food.
Yeah. You gonna bring them beans? Yeah, Auntie Marie, they're just gonna bring them beans over here. All right, okay, I'll see you Tuesday or whatever it is.
Got a friend of yours baked chicken recipe.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Second Ezra 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I'll put in thy mouth, said the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
Cause them to be written in paper. They are what's that? Second Ezra 15. Right. So cause them to be written in paper, and they were written in paper, and they were written in paper so that we can read them today and understand what time we're in.
Verse 3. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
Right, all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So there's going to be people that don't believe in this thing. Though a man told it to them. They're not going to believe it, and that's fine. That's fine because the scriptures say that, excuse me, that it's going to come as a thief in the night to some. Right? The scriptures tell you that. So we already know that there's going to be people that don't believe this thing. You know? Just outside having a good time, man. Riding bikes, cooling out, chilling. You know? I mean, what are they going to do in those summers? Because you know what, Jake, boy, especially if they're with their lady, they got that, you know what I'm saying, walking through the, what's up, man? You know, all that tough guy shit. And then missiles is coming up over the horizon, they're gonna be behind her. Oh, using her ass as a shield. You know?
It says men's hearts failing them of fear.
I mean, it's gonna be such a telling time, you know. Say, let's go to Second Ezra 16, 7. Yeah, can you read it? Whatever you was reading.
That's Second Ezra 16.
Back in Second Ezra 15 and verse 5. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
Right.
For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Yeah, wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole world, right? I feel like you can get a snapshot of it when you're looking around, but we can talk about all the wickedness that has been, right? It's not a good, healthy place to live, America. Now you imagine this, right? Imagine this. Think about this for a second, right? We talk about working 8-hour days, right? Which are 8 hours it goes by fast. You say if you're into your day.
You know your supervisor don't do nothing. You like walking around here, you get a damping all day. Eyeball.
Like a old lady. If you're a hard worker, man, your day goes by fast, man. Your day goes by fast. So 8 hours, right? But then you got to think about this, right? You got to drive home. So a lot of people, they work 30 minutes to an hour away from the house, right? So that's 9 hours, right? Then when you get home, what you want to do, you want to sit on the couch for a minute. You really don't want to do nothing. You want to decompress from the day. So that's 10 hours, right? You got to take a shower, right? So that's what? 10 and a half. You're going to have to take a shit. You got to eat, right? By then, it's really, your work day is really 13 hours. Right? And then you got to sleep for 6, at least 6 to be fresh for the next day. What's that? That's what, 19 hours? You really only got 5 hours to yourself. And that's spent, you gotta watch Law and Order. You gotta watch all your TV shows, you gotta watch the game, the Celtics are getting ready to play on Monday, you gotta watch the Celtics, right? So it's really, your work day is 22 hours. It's 22 hours, so you think about that, right? And they only give you 2 days off, bro, and it's almost like 1 day. It's almost like 1 day off. It seems like you leave work Friday, and then you right back. Sunday night, you getting ready for the next work day. So you really only got 1 day. 1 day where you don't got to worry about going to bed early for work or waking up early for work. 1 day. The rest of it is all geared towards your job. We're in slavery, man. We're in slavery. And when you think about that, it's not a good place to live. You showed me that video earlier, bro. That resonated with me, right? It's a parable, right? As a kid, his father was rich, so he brought him to a poor family, so he could see how the poor family live. And the kid surmised that, hey, they're the rich ones. We got 2 dogs, they got 4, right? We got a porch on the front of our house. They got fields that can see or that eyes can't see. He said it seemed like they got more than we got, and it's true, man. It's when you let me say it this way, calm down a little bit. When you shaped your life around your financial income, right, and your job, when you center your life around those things, it confines you, right? But the way the Lord intended it for us to live is to be free of anybody ruling over us. We're supposed to have our own cattle. We're supposed to have our own land and grow our own food, right? And then when you have that, what else do you need? Right? Electricity, when the sun go down, go to sleep. What do you need lights for? You need lights. Get your little candle. You want to read before you go to bed. Get your little candle. Right. So all of the stuff that we have in modern society is really just a way to put us deeper into this abyss that is America. Right. So it's got to go. It's got to go so that we can see what true freedom is like. We don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody can really say that. Even the richest people can't say that they're free. You imagine how much they pay in taxes. Imagine that. Paying half the money you get, you got to pay in tax. That's not a free person. You should be able to live on your land, right? You should have enough land for you, your mother and your father, your wives, your children, right? And that family should be able to grow on that land for as long as is humanly possible. As long as that line continues, that piece of land should just grow and flourish. You should have a house over there, then your neighbor should be your cousin. Yeah, and then you're down the road, your grandparents live down the road at the top of the roadway, where they got the hill and you can see their house down the end. Let's go down to Granny's house, and that's how life should be like that, man.
Back in the ancient times, Israel was, had their own, each tribe had their own land. It was all flourishing around the family,
That's how it should be, man. But look, now you live a whole different state from your granny. Your granny's dying. You should be, if your grandmother's dying, you should be able to take care of it. There should be somebody within arm's reach that can take care of your granny. There shouldn't be no such thing as nursing home. There shouldn't be no such thing as assisted living. The assisted living should be you and your family taking care of your grandmother, man. But you can't do it because you don't have the means. What you're going to do for that 13-hour workday, you're going to be gone. So you got to put her under somebody's care, right? Then you're back in the 80s. Your grandmother and your grandfather got divorced. So your grandfather over here, your grandmother over there, he dying, she dying. You don't know who to. I got to go over there and take care of him over there. I got to go over there and take care of my grandma. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. We should all be. You got your family should be. That's freedom. Being able to touch your family. When you read the scriptures, right? You had to know that Ham, Shem, and Japheth was around for a little while, right? The men in those times, they lived hundreds of years, so they was around, so they got to see their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, their great. That's how it should be. That's freedom. To be able to experience your family without worrying about them. Go ahead.
Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction.
Polluted, it shall destroy you. I'm not as old as I look, man. I'm not as old. I'm 72 years old. I'm not that old. This world is draining. So when we say all of these things, America has to go. Its way in the way that it's perpetuated is not healthy for anybody.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, also known as the book of Sirach 39 and 25. It says, for good things are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal thing for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of grapes, oil, and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil.
That's it. Those are the things you need for contentment, man. That's all you need. But America has created this thing where it's like, I gotta have that. I gotta have like I was thinking about this, right? Like, I remember this teacher I had. I won't say his name, but he was a good dude, man. And I never had him as a teacher, but his presence was felt in the school. He was one of those kind of black dude, real deep voice, real cool looking motherfucker. He had my grandmother calls the cookie, but it's a wedge, like the Kango wedge. He used to have that on with the long leather jacket. He just was a cool dude. Looked like Shav was one of the teachers, right? And I said that it's important for men like that to be in the school system, because your kids can be taught by somebody who's honorable, and they have something to look to as an example. If you look at school today, it's mostly women teachers, right? And what I was saying is the reason why it's like that is because being a teacher doesn't pay very much, and there's this expectation for a man to make a certain amount of money to be able to be with a female. You see, modern day now, it's like, oh, if you don't make 6 figures, you don't have no parts with a young lady, right? And so you as a man, you hear that, you're like, I ain't be no teacher. Teachers make $40,000 a year. I can't even sniff a chick if that's the case, right? So there's been this deterrent away from the things that are important, right? And so now you have a bunch of women in the school raising your children, right? Granted, if there's a way you can homeschool your kids, man, I recommend it, man. But a lot of us don't have the means to do it, right? But you think about that. You got a bunch of embittered young ladies in some cases teaching your kids, right? And then they look at your kid, he's just another black kid to them. They don't give a shit about him, right? And so they treat him the way they feel on the inside. You see these women that's calling the cops on, whoever called the cops on this kid, what's this kid's name? Tamir Rice. They had the toy gun. There was a lady that called the cops on him. That's the same lady that's in the school teaching your kids, same type of mentality. And that's how they think about your kids. So we have to get out of America. It's nothing good here.
That's right.
It's nothing good here. You should be able to keep your kids at home. Your wife is at home, and she teaches your kids. Well, what do they need to know? They got to know how to read. They got to know how to write. They got to know how to count. That's it. Fucking who needs to learn about Napoleon? Nobody needs to learn about that guy. Who the fuck is he? Right? What else you gonna learn? What else you gonna learn?
Scripture.
You gonna learn about fucking the Revolutionary War? And then Crispus Attucks and who the fuck gives a fuck about Crispus Attucks? Yeah, who the fuck cares about that guy? Who cares? You're gonna teach you about Frederick Douglass, the most photographed person in the early 1800s. Who gives a shit about Frederick Douglass? But that's what you're going to school. That's what you're going to school for. Then you learn about Thurgood Marshall and Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King, and that's the end of it. And you don't need to know none of that stuff. You should be able to keep them home. Your wife should be teaching your daughters how to cook. She should be teaching your daughters how to sew. She should be teaching your daughters how to mentally care about the taking care of her family. And the father should be teaching his son, look, we about to go build a fucking goddamn cabin outside. We about to go build something. Every day when you wake up, we going to build a cabin or something like that. You should be teaching your son, look, one day you're going to have to provide for your family of your own. You're going to have to know how to hunt. I don't even remember. I used to go, when I was a kid, I used to go fishing all the time. You send me out there, I wouldn't know what to do. Don't send me fishing, brother. I don't know.
Exactly.
You know, my son, he said, Daddy, can we go fishing? I was like, hey, man, it's been a long time since Daddy went fishing. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, but it shouldn't be like that. Everybody, look, when you heard the stories about the apostles, the Lord Yahweh Shai was going around choosing them, they was all what? Fishermen. Yep. Paul was what? A tent maker. That means he was making somebody to live in. You see? And these are the, what was the Lord Yahweh Shai?
Carpenter, yeah.
Right? Those are the tools and skills that we should have, right? But we don't remember none of those kinds of things, man.
Most men got their training or teaching from their father.
Yep.
Now you have the father removed out of the house.
Yep.
So now you have little boys growing up to be like their mothers, sashaying and all this work and all this other shit, whatever they're doing. And this is what America accepts. That's acceptable now.
Yeah, you got this. This is a video out of Bow Wow. He was sassing, swirling his finger around, talking shit, right? And I was looking at that, man. That's just because you're aggressive, don't mean you're masculine, right? Just because you have this level of anger towards you doesn't mean you're being a man. Men, when you look at, one of my favorite movies is The Godfather. And you know why? Because even though they were enemies with certain families, they still were able to get together and be diplomatic about it. That's masculinity. The scriptures tell you to be slow to anger. But you see these dudes, I'll be watching these basketball clips, somebody will do a little crossover and then score. Then the dude that got scored on, now he chest bump, oh, fuck you, and now they fighting. It's just a bunch of girls, man. You know? Go ahead, bro.
Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it.
That's it. Because that's all he gonna know. That's all he gonna know is what you teach him and what you give him. Right? So real freedom is to be able to be around your children at all times. But most of your day is being consumed with being on the plantation, right? You should be able to teach your kids. Who know how to ride in the canoe? You know how to ride in the canoe? Man, you're a bad dude, brother. I asked the wrong person.
I wanted to say now, now that it's like a Father's Day, right? Now there's a new trend going on in the media where single mothers saying that, oh, I'm the father and the mother now, you know, and they glorify on it, you know, pumping up the chest so that you see, I have to be the daddy and the mommy for my kid, you know.
But no, you just have to be the mother.
Yeah, but
I know what you're saying, brother.
It's ridiculous to me, you know. And yet, the very same one who pumping up her chest is the very same one, like the elder said, kick the father out of the house to collect more child support.
Yeah, to be further in debt to the system that we live in.
Exactly.
So when we talk about all these things, when we talk about the wars that are going to happen here, when we talk about the judgment of the Heavenly Father by way of these nuclear missiles, those things have to happen, man. We have to be freed from this place. We have to be delivered from America so that we can live the way the Heavenly Father intended us to live, man. You know, and you're gonna live a life. We're gonna live a life where we're gonna be fair to the rest of the world, right? Where there's a let me say it this way. The scriptures imply in some ways that we're gonna be fair to the other nations, right? So when we are in rulership, the rest of the world gonna eat too. When you go to Proverbs
29 and 2.
Oh, good night.
Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
Right. When you had the Queen of Sheba go to see Solomon, she didn't know which one was Solomon. Everybody looked the same. You know. So that's think about that. We're going to be righteous rulers. So when we get the scriptures say in Isaiah the 60th chapter, it talks about the forces of the Gentiles being converted unto us, right? So we're not going to just get the forces and not know what to do with it. We're going to delegate to who needs what, land needs what. This dam over here needs fixing. That lake over there needs rerouting. And all of this, we're gonna have, all of them when they get the meetings and they roll out them blueprints. And we're gonna build a building right here. We're gonna be at the head of that. No, not right there. That's sacred land. We're not gonna deal with that land over here. This is a good idea, but we're gonna do it over here. That's what we're gonna be doing, man. We're gonna be ruling the earth in true rulership and fairness and in righteousness. No, we can't build over there because there's a watering hole that city over there that they use. If we build right there, we take their water system. Right? We're gonna be doing stuff like that. I be thinking about like rulership is not just sitting on your ass and just whooping Esau's ass. I know that sounds good, it feels good, but we're gonna be really figuring out how to rule the earth. Right? We're gonna be able to. Okay, we building a city over here today. Okay, who's reforming? Who's this? Who's that? The governing body of the world is gonna figure that stuff out. That's gonna be real. Right now, we talking about who's gonna be president. We got a presidential candidate. He's a convicted felon. Imagine that. A presidential candidate, a convicted felon, while he's running for president. They're not worried about ruling the earth. Right? What trees need to be cut down? What trees shouldn't be cut down? Right? What land to cultivate? What land that shouldn't be cultivated? Hey, this land was tilled for a year straight. It needs a Sabbath over there on that land. Don't touch that land over there. We're gonna be able to delegate real rulership, things that really matter to the earth. Go ahead, bro.
This is Isaiah 2 and 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's Yahweh house shall be established in the top of the mountains.
That's it.
And shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh to teach the house, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways.
Right, he will teach us of his ways. That's what we're gonna be doing, man. We're gonna have people who administer the law to these other nations. This is how you guys gonna live in your land. These are the laws. These are the ordinances that y'all gonna rule with. Right? We're gonna set up a little hammock. You stay over there with them people, you rule your people. But here's how we rule you. We want you to report back to us how they doing over there. If they're not following rules, you come see us. We come down there with some chariots and we'll get everything straightened out. Go ahead, brother.
So
no, it's all good.
It's also true, like King Solomon. when King David, quashed all this nation and had them all under his subjection, now there was no more war. And what this nation did, they came in and started building the kingdom. And each was a taskmaster, to tell them what to do. How to build this, how to build that building, and they were contributors. All this was coming in to contribute to King Solomon. And it was a very good example, how when you mentioned about Queen Sheba, when he walks in, and then he saw King Solomon, he had no idea he was the king. It kind of reminded me of Coming to America, where
King Solomon's servant was King Solomon.
Exactly. Like when Prince Akeem came in, he doesn't appear as a king.
Yeah, he had his McDonald's uniform.
Exactly. He had underneath that, but he had great wisdom. So, but he was actually a king. So and when she found out who King Solomon really was, and that he was actually the wisest king that people have been talking about about the
from lands near and far.
She was amazed, and then
she said, surely the wisdom, basically your reputation precedes you.
Yep.
And she basically told him that you are as wise as the people say you are.
Oh yeah.
And they never had kids.
Yeah, that's true. They got me that in there. Yeah. They don't say that.
I read that before I got them too. I was enamored about it.
Oh yeah, she had came down to Israel, and what happened was Solomon put shoes on her. He something about Solomon, and he tried to drink some water. It was you got to read that fucking thing if you want to get a good laugh. But at the time, I was into it.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
Right. And so those are the types of rulers we're gonna have to be, right? We're gonna be delegating what goes on earth. Nothing's gonna happen on earth without consulting with the nation of Israel first, and then of course without us consulting with the Lord Yahweh Shai, ultimately consulting with the Heavenly Father. Things are gonna be done down on the earth by the power of the Heavenly Father, not by the will of your own stomach and belly. That's real rulership. Let's go to the one who offers the rulership to the people, the Heavenly Father. That's real rulership, man. And that's what's going to happen. We're going to delegate what goes on the earth, and of course, the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai has to be on us in order for us to do that. I don't think we have no idea what it's going to be like. None. We can imagine, right? We can fantasize about what it's going to happen, what's going to be like. It's not even close to what the Heavenly Father has in store for these people. It's going to be a beautiful kingdom to live in. It's going to be a beautiful kingdom to live in. You don't have to worry about being cheated. You don't have to be worried about being treated unfairly, right? What, you got something, bro? I'm sorry, bro. I know you keep skipping.
You talking about the king that made it?
Yeah, no, you got it, brother.
Deuteronomy 24:14. Thou shalt not oppress and hide servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren or of thy strangers that are in thy land within thy gates. And that his day thou shalt give him his hire, neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor and setteth his heart upon it. Lest he cry against thee unto the Lord, and it be sin unto thee. So getting paid at the end of the day, that's like unheard of.
Even that, man. Just getting paid for what you did.
Right.
Right. You got
a little bit more. You got more than that? No. Back in Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
Right, one that's profitable to the earth. Because what's more important to the earth than how you take care of it? Right? We talk about we take trees, right? We just cut them. Right? You just cut them down, start building shit. There's certain trees that you shouldn't cut down, man. There's certain lands that you shouldn't mess with and bother until. There's certain waterways that you shouldn't fill up, right? If there's a waterfall, you should leave that, right? Because that's how you can get power. Through those waterfalls, you set up a little mill, that spins and that waterfall just keeps turning that thing. That's unlimited power, right? So to fill up a river or something like that, that's all wickedness, man. But we're gonna take care of the earth because really this is our business because this is where we live. Right?
Now, just to back you up, the earth is also reference to like a house. You want to always keep your house spick and span.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You got Esau guy
on sweet.
Yeah. You got Esau guy like plastic, like in the ocean.
Yeah, it's all the things that make up living here on earth, right? Is all being polluted, right? So we read Micah 2:10 earlier. Along with it being morally polluted, right? It's also actually physically polluted. Go ahead.
It's Romans 8:18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that shall be revealed in us.
Right.
For the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestations of the sons of God.
That's right, man. That's right, man. So that even the rest of the earth, the birds ready for us to move.
Yep.
Right. Birds, birds, they got high cholesterol. That stuff that we, go to McDonald's French fry out here. They're gonna eat that French fry, man. Birds got high blood pressure. The squirrels, they got, they suffer from heart disease. Everybody is suffering because of Esau. Everybody. Right? That's why, look, you go through the park, the elder points this out. There's certain trees that look a certain way. He said they look like that because bodies have been buried underneath. So even the trees, they crying out, they suffering.
It says that. I got that book.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Isaiah 14 and 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet.
Yeah.
They break forth into singing.
Yep.
Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee,
Yep.
and the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no fellas come up against thee.
Fellas come up against thee. Like you got the people marginalize the presence of the rainforest in Brazil, right? I'm sorry, I'm not saying rainforest is the right word. And then what they doing? They going down in there trying to cut that place up, man. Why? Why would you do that? Those these forests and these ecosystems, it all matters, man. Ain't not one thing that ain't not one thing. Ain't not one thing that don't matter on this earth, man. It all is important, right? You should be able to go to. You gotta feel sick. You should be able to go to the ocean, stand and sit in the water for a little. All that sodium and the minerals from the water, you should be able to go and be healed, man.
This is Isaiah 24:4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away.
Yeah.
The world languisheth and fadeth away.
Yeah.
The hardy people of the earth will languish. The earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
The earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Yeah, man, keep going.
Because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned and few men left.
That's right. So that's why this place got to go, man. That's why this place has to go. The earth is being choked, right? The earth is being choked, and is being choked by the cancer that is eatable. Because they don't care about the wellness of the earth, because really it doesn't belong to them. They only care about what they can gain from the earth. It just goes back to the old saying. Shit ain't yours, you don't give a shit about it. You destroy it and tear it up. And when it's yours, you take pride in it. And the scripture says the earth was given unto for our sakes. Therefore, Esau has been given dominion over the earth, but he understands at the end of the day, it's not going to be his to reign over. Right.
I'm going to put this picture real quick because earlier you brought out how the animals going to be at peace, once watching this rule. Now, this is Isaiah chapter 11. We'll start verse 6. He said, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and little children shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed, the young one shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. And the sucking child shall play on the horn of the ass, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the can't even say that word correctly. Cockatrice. Then they shall not hurt nor destroy in the holy mountains. So you gotta have little children that be playing with snakes, you know, with lion, with tigers, tiger, lion, and even the lamb.
Right. The Lord's going to turn back the hand where we're going to have dominion over all the animals.
Yep.
We had dominion over all the animals at one certain point. But I want to make a statement though. The brother read in Romans 8 and 18, I believe it was, that the sufferings of this present time, we are currently suffering, man. If you profess yourself to be a man of the Lord and be involved in the truth, you're suffering, man. You're not gonna remove yourself from the suffering, no matter what you do, no matter what you think. This is where we've been brought here to suffer. And the more you get deeper into this thing, the more the heavier the sufferings come upon you. Because the wisdom that the Lord instills in you, you now see the truth of what's going on around here. So we're constantly enduring. We're constantly trying to stay afloat in this bitch because we are suffering. You're not gonna say to yourself, "Oh, since I left Great Millstone, you know, my life has been better." I don't know if y'all remember, there was a couple of cats that said that shit. Since I left Great Millstone, my life has been better. Well, better for what? You just went back into the world and Satan got a hold of you. Now Satan has convinced you that you're now living a beautiful life. All right, go ahead, bro. I know supposed to have something on deck.
Oh, I got Revelation 11 and 18, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
Right. So we've been told, and I'm gonna say it this way, we've been told that the Lord wasn't thinking about Esau. The Lord hates wickedness. Esau's wicked. So anything that's wicked, the Lord don't like, man. And the Lord's gonna do away with all wickedness, man. And this is why we come out here on the highways and byways as servants of the Lord, to expose and to let you know about all wickedness. The scripture says, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. So with that being said, the Lord's gonna come down here and destroy them that destroyeth the earth. And that needs to be done. Because by trying to bring Esau and these heathens into the kingdom, what do you think is going to happen? The scriptures doesn't say nothing about them being changed. It doesn't say nothing about the Lord writing the laws in their inward parts. So they're still going to be the same. They're profane outside of this temple. So therefore, by letting them come up and being brought down, we're just fostering more wickedness, man. All right, go ahead.
Kind of laying back what you were saying for more much wisdom.
Yep.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 18. For in much wisdom is much grief.
Yep.
And he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow.
Right. And much wisdom is much grief. And he that increaseth in knowledge increaseth in sorrow. And you find yourself, the more the Lord opens up to you and reveals to you, the more pissed off you get. And the more heartbroken you get. Like, God damn, here you are, you out here trying to tell your people this, that, and the third, but what do they do? And that's why I was saying to the elder, I'm tired of seeing cats who think they got the word. This cat up here talking shit, coming down here talking shit. I'm tired of seeing it. If the Lord gives us that ability to lay hands on people for a minute, may the Lord give it to us. Because that's frustration that's built up. And that's these individuals who are going against the word, whom they understand the word, but they're going against the word. See, go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Surely oppression make a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
Right, and that goes right along with what happens here in Babylon. If you get some type of lucrative contract, right, your mindset's going to change. If you're in the truth, and all of a sudden they hit the lottery, your mindset's going to change. We had cats that have been in the truth, that have hit the lottery, and when that has taken place, all of a sudden it became a dark shit. Oh, the dark. Listen, man, we are grounded in this thing. This money system is going to collapse. This whole way of life is going to be rooted out. And this is why we understand that we're suffering in this present time. This is not a prosperous time to live. We don't leave camp and be like, yeah, tomorrow's Monday, we'll get up, go to work, get in and get a job. We leave camp and sorrow comes upon you because this is truly the only time you're at peace, man. When you're with the brotherhood, the spirit is rolling, the prophecies are coming out, the scriptures are coming out. The minute we start breaking down and camp folds up, and all of a sudden you start thinking, Right now, you ain't thinking about home. You ain't thinking about, you know, the bills. You ain't thinking about that. You in the spirit, you brothers thinking about scriptures, brothers thinking about the stories and the scriptures. But the minute you leave here, you walking up that hill, it's like, damn, rent through this week, fucking, you know, I got a fucking mortgage, bills, the insurance, everything, man, everything. It's heavy, man. Hold on, brother, go ahead.
One more. Proverbs 30:7.
Yep.
2 things have I required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord?
Right.
Or lest I be poor and steal and take thy name of my power in vain.
Because that's what people do. When people are on the bad end of things, they curse the Lord. The Lord ain't do nothing for me. The Lord put you in that position for a reason. And people who got money ain't thinking twice about the Lord. You think Jay-Z's and all these cats, you think they're talking about their nationality? And those who do mention their nationality, they get banned. They get blackballed, if you will. See? So again, it's a blessing to be where we're standing right now. And to have the word that the Lord has given unto us, man. It's a blessing. Go ahead, brother.
No, just to back you up, the Lord was rich, but he became poor for our sake.
That's right. But look at Solomon. Right before Solomon became the king of Israel, what did he ask? He didn't ask the Lord for riches. He didn't ask for these things. He asked for wisdom to rule his people. That's what he asked for. And Jake today, I want to get this. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get the king, because that's what Solomon's brother was like. His brother was like, yeah, he got all those boys up there like, yeah, when we get the throne, we're gonna be causing all kinds of havoc.
Oh yeah.
You know? Solomon gave him a chance, but he ended up getting put to death. Go ahead.
This is Hebrews 12:5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children.
Yep.
My son, despise not the chastising of the Lord,
right,
nor faint when thou art rebuked of him.
That's right.
For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he received.
Right, who the Lord loveth, he chasteneth. And this is what we got to keep in mind, man. Whenever we're going through something, be thankful. Take it cheerfully. Because all things are done by the hand of the Lord. Sometimes the Lord put you through a situation maybe to slow you down a little bit. Sometimes men can't perceive and understand that. They think of that position because their girl called the cop. Oh, the Lord's cooling you down for a minute. You got to recognize these things. It's giving you a time to sit there and reflect into what? Examine yourself. Damn, you know what? I fucked around. I shouldn't have been doing that. So therefore, I'm in this position. Now I got to understand that the Lord put this on.
Just to back you up,
he driving around in a Lamborghini with a fucking ticket on it. Ass. Thinking he's revving his own engine and shit. Probably $20 ticket on there. See about that. Go ahead, bro. Come back to you.
This is Hebrews 12:7.
Yep.
Even if ye endure chastising, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not?
Right. Didn't they chastise his only begotten son? Right? How much more we? And this is why he was instructed to take it cheerfully. And thou art changed and brought to the Lord's state. Right? Again, the sufferings of this world ain't going to be compared. So we got to sacrifice while we're here. You know? We got to say, you know what? There's better things to come. Some men who come out and they endure for a little while and they realize, damn, I can't do it. Go back into the world. Next thing you know, they're sharp with the lineups. You know, they back on the street, you know, wheeling and dealing and hold there, you know. But again, we're being wise and faithful servants. These things that we're going to, we know it's just going to last but a short time. So therefore, we come out, sacrifice our lives, make our bodies that living sacrifice. We take heed to the teachings that we were taught. We're holding fast to these things. And may the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai see that we took these things and we harvested them and thought about them and meditated on them, and that he may reward us openly when the time comes, man. All right, go ahead.
Verse 8, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof are partakers, then ye are bastards and not sons.
Right, so people think that, oh, I'm in Babylon, I'm living a good life, you know, ain't no harm ever come to me or nothing bad has ever come to me. They think that the Lord is dealing in a graceful way unto them. But you can think that way. I'd rather be chastened. I'd rather be under the heat, so to say. Because why? Because that's going to keep me grounded. The minute you go outside and you start living a great life and things start coming to you in abundance, and now you're wheeling and dealing and you feel good, you feel like there's a weight lifted off your shoulders, you feel free, You gotta start thinking about it. You gotta start thinking about that, because you know what? There are times when these things happen to men, and men realize and know that it ain't right. Wait a minute, something ain't right. When I was under the umbrella of the Lord, you know, I felt that that sense of security, but also I had that fear in me that kept me in the right space. But now, once they leave from underneath that umbrella, they're out there wild and they think it's all good. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power, man. All right, so I'm gonna come here, here, and here, okay?
This is Revelation 12 and 11, and it reads, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto death.
That's right. They loved not their lives unto death. So we don't listen. We ain't over here happy, man. We ain't happy. We're not over here flourishing. We're barely getting by. We're scraping by. You know, and we just hope and pray that Yahweh Shemiah Shai has mercy on us and, you know, delivers us up from the said peril that's coming here, man. You know, again, like the brother read in Romans the 18th chapter, 18th verse rather. You know, the sufferings of this time. We are suffering. Any man of the Lord, anybody that's in this thing of ours, we're all suffering. And if you ain't suffering, then you in the wrong place, man. You in the wrong mindset. Go ahead.
I'm going to continue. Hebrews 12 and 9. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence.
Yep.
Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live?
That's right. That's right. When a man says he doesn't fear anymore, and he don't fear the Lord, and there's no need to fear the Lord, there's nothing you can say to that. There's nothing you can say to that. The Lord's not looking for you to be a buddy. The Lord's looking for you to fear him, man. Right. That's what the Lord's looking for. If you think otherwise, oh, the Lord is, you know, this and that. I don't have to fear the Lord. But why not? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, man. Go ahead.
Proverbs 1 in verse 5. A wise man will hear and will increase learning.
Yep.
A man of understanding will attain unto wise counsel.
Yep.
To understand the proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings.
Yep.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Right? The Lord is not looking for best friends. The Lord is not looking for a guy that's going to just run around and talk, man. We fear the Lord. And this is why we're very mindful of the things that we do and the things that we say to one another. It's very important. It's very important, man. And with that fear, it's going to keep you grounded. You may be out one night and thinking, yeah, you know what? Got a club on the left side. You know what? Let me take my ass home. Let me take my ass home. Yeah. Because that mindset that you're living in is keeping you right. Because at the end of the day, sometimes going to these clubs ain't nothing good going to happen in there. Yep. Especially if you go in a club back around the old neighborhood. So niggas be shooting up and doing all kinds of wickedness. Next thing you know, you get caught out there, now what? Someone, yeah, you're slucky. I should have been out there. My bag, you know. Go ahead. Let me get this brother right here. Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 15 and 16. It says, better is a little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith.
That's it. That's it. And again, most people are striving for what? Things of this world. It's better to have that little bit of fear of the Lord than to want to be a master in Babylon, man. Yeah, the Lord knows my heart. How many times you hear people, the Lord knows my heart? Well, do you know what the word of the Lord says? You think the Lord knows your heart, but do you know what the Lord said? All right, go ahead, Elder.
This is Jeremiah 4 and 22. It says, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge.
Right, why is that? Because of the teachings of this world. You know, and again, our people hate to relieve themselves from the eating of pork, from the wickedness that they've been saturated in throughout their life. This is all they know. And this is why you understand and you know that it's all of Yahweh Shemiah Shai that we've been brought into this thing. And if we have been selected from the beginning, this is our lot. You know, when you see Jake out there doing wickedness, you're like, God damn. They're doing all kinds of shit. You can see these videos they put up there. World Star. Jake is out of goddamn control, man. But again, this wasn't their lot. Even though they've heard brothers, they've seen brothers, they've walked by brothers' camps many a times, even like, you know, gave you that whole shit. It's all gonna come back, man. It's all gonna come back to haunt them. Go ahead.
This is Galatians 5 and 16. It says, "This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh."
Right, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. And you know what's one of the worst things for the lust of the flesh is chasing after these women. It's one of the worst things out there, man. And this is why we always say every time we leave camp, whatever you do, be spiritual. Just read that again.
It says Galatians 5 and 16, "Then I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh."
Right, the lust of the flesh will get you hemmed up, man. Chasing after women, you know, trying to be a drug dealer, trying to be, you know, do all these things in the world, chasing after that flesh, chasing after that lust, man. So we tell brothers, be spiritual. If there's something going down, reach out to brothers. Yo, shalom, brother. You know, just thinking about this. I was thinking about going to see my ex. She want me to go down there. Yo, bro, where she at? Down? Nah, nigga, brother, don't go over there. Yeah, nah, I don't think it's wise to go over there. Let that shit go. You know, or brother may be looking for, you know, a little something to tidy him up for the night. If a brother call and reach out, I'm like, yo, nah, bro, you be alright, just chill, lay low, bro. You know, but again, this is what the brotherhood's for. This is what we teach with each other. This is how we communicate with each other. You know? Go ahead, real quick.
Now this is the first Andrew, chapter 4, verse 26 and 27. He says, "Yeah, many that have worn out their wish for a woman and become served for their sakes. Many also have perished, have erred and sinned for woman. So they perish all for the sake of woman."
Right. And it's tough, man. If you go out in this world, and if you got a desire, if your lust, your desire is to have as many women as you can, and that's going to be your downfall, man. You got something?
Nah,
all right, so good, brother. That's good,
Ecclesiastes 18 and 30 reads, "Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetite."
Right, going on after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thy appetite. Refrain thyself. You know, listen, man. We all, you know, looking at, you know, we all want to, you know, women. We all like women. You know, men. We Israelites. You know, but again, the Lord is going to give you a woman that you should be satisfied with, even though she's going to give you hell. She's going to give you hell, you know, in the long run. But hey, that's your woman. But when you start chasing after these women, it's going to do what? Next thing you know, you got kids. You got kids, y'all, you know, and these
left and right.
Kids left and right.
Yep.
Next thing you know, she calling Esau on you. 5-0 at the door. Yo, come out here. You know what's the situation? You know, there's gonna be a restraining order. Go ahead, bro. You got it. There's gonna be a restraining order on you. All right. So be mindful, man. Be mindful.
They make sure like on the court, right? When you look at the court, when they got the men forth, you got the men in the court, and you got the men in tears crying, saying that, you know, that's all I have left. What more do I have to give? They were just wondering. He was crying in tears because he's getting all the money for child support, you know, and she's not doing anything to take care of the child. And he's trying to defend himself, but we see he's sure that he's paying for that kid. But no, God don't want to hear anything about that.
They don't want to hear anything about
that. You know, and they want him to pay more money.
Oh, this is Isaiah 1 and 3, and it reads, it says, "The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel do not know, and my people do not consider, a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters, and they have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger, and they gone away backward." It says, why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart fainted. And from the sole of the feet, and even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but the wounds and bruises, and petrified sores, and they have not been closed, and neither bound up, and neither lotified with ointments.
And truth be told, we are all sick, man. And this is why Yahushua became that physician unto us. All right? And that physician has been sent unto us as the comforter of the poor. Right? And the Lord has opened up our mind to receive and understand these things from our teaching, from the men that taught us, from the head apostles and elders, bishops on down. All right? Here we are. You know, one thing is for certain, man. When you come into this thing, you throw away that old man, you put away that old living, right? Go ahead. Oh, give me. Go ahead.
Romans 12 and I'll get straight to the point, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what that is good and acceptable and perfect, the will of the Most High.
Right, that you may prove what is good and acceptable. So you got to change your mindset, your thought process. You can't come into the truth and be a nigga in the week during the week, and try to be a brother on the weekends. Right? You got to get rid of that old man. Scripture says the inward man go up day by day, but that man perishes. You know? Genesis 4 and 7, I believe. Genesis 4 and 7. Yeah, good.
Let's start Genesis 4 and 5. Yep. It says, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
Right, because Cain gave I'll say a cheap blessing, a sacrifice unto the Lord. All right, go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? It says, if thou dost well, thou shalt not be accepted.
Right. The Lord's asking, if you do as well, won't you be accepted? And this is what also we push, man. If you do well in the sight of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, he will accept you, man. Again, when we leave here, we leave camp and brothers go home, we don't have no problems laying our head on a pillow at night. We're comfortable in the spirit, where we know that we have done everything the right way, man. We've been honest from day one. We're the way we were taught, right? So when we speak amongst each other, we can speak with full hearts. As we speak these proverbs and precepts, we speak with full hearts. Because why? We're comfortable. We're content in the spirit with what we do and how we conduct ourselves. Finish off?
It says, if thou dost not well, sin lieth at the door.
Thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. So again, we tell brothers, listen, if you do well, the Lord's gonna accept you, man. When you wanna fuck around and try to play both sides of the tracks, the Lord's gonna root you out. Root your ass right out, man. Right? So be mindful of that. Be well, do well in the sight of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. Fear the Lord. Meditate on his words. Think about what he's told us. The instructions we've been given, man. A lot of those instructions came out of the Old Testament, as people like to, argue about. But again, that's a foundation for you to get wisdom, man. When you pick up the Apocrypha, right? The Apocrypha was written in the ancient times, right? How much wisdom can you extract from the Apocrypha? Loads and loads, man. Go ahead, Elder.
This is Matthew 18 and 1. It says, at the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahushua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted, and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name, receiving me.
That's right.
Yeah, so the elder is getting into changing your mindset and the type of mind frame you got to be in this truth, and ultimately it's humility. This is 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. It said, wherefore laying aside all malice and all guile, and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speaking, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. That's it. So the scriptures are repetitive in that way. Where we are to have the mindset of new children, because what are children? Children are malleable, impressionable, right? And so that's the mindset you need to have, an open mind, willing to learn from the men that have taught us, and it's a show of humility, right? So that's what the Heavenly Father is looking for, a contrite man, one who's put aside his own fleshly desires for the furtherance of the truth.
I got one for you. This is Philippians chapter 2, and I'll start at 5. It says, let this mind be in you, which was also in Yahushua HaMashiach.
So the ultimate symbol of humility is one who was innocent but didn't resist getting up on that cross. Right? That's the ultimate show of humility. Why? Because he was innocent, but then two, he did it without his own will in mind, but the will of the Heavenly Father. Right? That's the ultimate show of humility. Right? So that's the type of man you should be in this truth. One who's willing to do away with his own fleshly desires for the furtherance of the truth. You'll learn contentment in that way. Not trying to be the boss man or take down the boss man or whoever the ruler is, trying to take them down. That won't happen if you carry yourself with a certain level of humility. It ain't about you, it's about the furtherance of the truth.
Going back to verse, no worries. Verse 6, it says, who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with the Most High. It says, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men, and being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross.
That's right. Became obedient to death. Right? And that's the mindset we should have. It ain't about us. It's about the Lord Yahushua and us ushering in his kingdom.
Get one of these numbers. Trying to tighten something, right?
Get out of here, Satan. I rebuke thee.
Over the dark room, I said, I stay strong.
Yeah, stay focused.
Stay focused. I got something.
Anyways,
That's how it be. We talk about that lesson.
Philippians 4:11. Not that I speak in respect of one, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed, both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Yahushua Mashiach, which strengthens me.
That's it.
Let me get one more. Zechariah 9:12.
You got it? Yeah, that's beautiful. I got it. This is Zechariah 9:12. It says, turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even to today do I declare that I will render double unto thee.
Right. And for some reason, Romans 8:18 keeps coming back into my mind. You know, the sufferings of this present time. In this present time, we are known as prisoners. We are known as prisoners of hope. So therefore, we have been, I said to the elder earlier, we have been obligated to conform to the laws of the Lord, the ways and styles of the Lord. For example, when you got a man in prison, he has to conform to the ways of the warden. The warden sets the rule, you got to follow it. Likewise, being prisoners of the Lord, being prisoners of hope. Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai set the rule, we got to follow it. See? So this is all, man. Being prisoners of hope, hoping and praying that the Lord have mercy on us, doing as commanded, going out here prophesying. Did not Yahweh Shai say it was the spirit of prophecy? And this is what we need to be doing. All men out there, we got to be prophesying about the downfall of this kingdom. This is what we're prophesying about. And all the wars and the skirmishes and of the evils and of the pestilence that is on the horizon. We ain't out here to sit here and try to, rock you to sleep and just to tell you one side, man. Is the Lord merciful? Yes, he is. Is he full of compassion? Yes, he is. But right now, is that the time frame that the Lord's living in and that we're living in? Absolutely not, man. The Lord's going to give all that at the appropriate time. He's going to render unto us all the beautiful things that he promised unto us. We're going to receive those things. But as Louis Maccabee said, there's still a battle before us. Be not greedy of the spoil. So just because you got a little something in this kingdom, that don't mean shit, man. We still got a lot of hell to go through. We still got to go through that. We're going through that straight gate, man. It's fire on one side, water on the other. We hoping and praying that the Lord keep us safe from all of it. All right? You got something?
Something real quick. Yeah, this is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1. It says, for as much then as how much Yah has suffered for us in the flesh,
Right.
arm yourself likewise with the same mind.
Right.
And for he that has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin.
He that has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin. Even like the Lord, man. When the Lord was on the scene, everybody accused him. Pontius said, he said, you know, what has this man done? You know, that's your law. You see to it. I don't really fault this man. But because Israel was all adamant that he was a blasphemer, you know, he was making himself equal with the Most High, they didn't like that shit. But again, those very same spirits are on the earth today, man. It's all simple, man. It's all simple. The very same spirits are right back here today, doing the same shit that they was doing back then. Everybody's in their lot, man. Everybody's in their lot. You got something now?
Come.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus 39:1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High,
Yep.
and is occupied in the meditation thereof,
Right.
will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient,
Right.
and be occupied in prophecies.
Right. I mean, it's a beautiful time to be occupied in prophecy. It's a very beautiful time because it gives you joy when you read something that you read maybe 4 years ago. Now all of a sudden it's starting to surface. It's starting to happen. That boosts your spirit up. That boosts your spirit. And now you all y'all watch y'all shy. This is going down. This is happening. You see? Because we're occupied in the prophecies that were set before us. This is the only thing that you should be occupied in. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got these I should say, you have these distractions that are taking place all throughout the world and throughout this country, throughout your city. You got these distractions. You can pay attention to distractions because it says, be not ignorant in any matter, small or great. You pay attention because by being a servant of the Lord and being a man of the Lord, you're going to be able to give an answer for anything that somebody asks you about. Hey, what about this? Yeah, you know, you got a little bit of knowledge on that. Yeah, I can yeah, this, that, third, you know. But again, knowing the primary goal is being focused in prophecy, being focused in the word of Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Just to land back, 1 John 2:20. But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things.
That's right. We have an unction from the Holy One, and we know all things. And that's what I'll say this, man. I don't know if y'all brothers were around, but there used to be a brother named Almost Shabbat Allah, head of Jacob Dallas brothers, and him and Elder Yashawamba, I think Elder Yashawamba, they were in a park. And they went to that park, you know, this is years ago. They went to the park, and they started firing different questions. And that boy was getting down. He was getting down. And I always thought about that, you know? And he's long gone now. But the sentiment is there, you know, having that unction to have a little bit of understanding of everything. See? And that way it makes you a complete man, you know, it makes you complete. You know? Go ahead, brother. Son.
This is Luke 21 and 33. It says, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away.
That's right.
And take heed to yourself, he said, any times your heart be overcharged with suffering and drunkenness, and cares of this life.
Right, and the cares of this life will swallow you up, man. It will swallow you up. Going back into the world and doing all those things that you refrained from doing, now you're going back to doing them. This world will swallow you up, man, and spit you out. Go ahead.
It says, and so that day come upon you unaware. For as a snare it shall come upon all them that dwell on the whole face of the whole earth.
That's right.
Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.
Right, that you may be counted worthy. That you may be counted worthy. All right. And again, you gotta stand fast, man. You gotta hold fast. You know, there's all types of shit out there, all types of temptations. Satan don't sleep. When the Lord asked Satan where he been, he said, walking to and fro in the earth. So the Lord would definitely, you know, say, go check that, go test my man down here. Go check. Yeah. Came down.
Came out of hell.
Right, came out of hell. Sizzling. Steam coming from.
Hot lava.
But anyway, yeah. But be mindful, man. Be mindful of the works the works that you perform and how you carry yourself. You know, Cain, the Lord said, Cain, if thou doest well, thou should be accepted. So be mindful. Just do well, man. Pray through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shai that He gives you more understanding, He opens you up, He lets you receive, and that He keeps you from going down any demonic path, man. All right? You got one more? Anybody got something? Well, you got something? You got one more else?
Hey, like the prayer says in Matthew, but the Lord pray to the Lord that He don't lead us into temptation. You know?
Right. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. All right? And again, the Lord knows who His own are. Lord willing, we hold fast and make that, make that be known through the Spirit of the Lord that, hey, we trying, man. We holding fast and we trying. Go ahead, brother.
It's the book of Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the earth, the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth.
You know how big that is right there? You know how big that is? The Lord said He's going to keep you from the hour of temptation, which we understand and know to be the hour the time when they're going to start giving that MOTV out, man. When that comes out, man, you know how big that is? Because it's going to put you in a position where you're going to be you're going to come to the crossroads, right? Right now, it don't seem like shit. It don't seem like much because we can come and go as we please. We can go over to the Black Sea restaurant, go in there, pull out the debit card, get a meal, sit down, chop it up. We can do all those things. But when that shit comes to an abrupt halt, and now you're going to be like, damn, I'm getting kind of hungry. I don't have the message, the means to go get food. May the Lord keep you from the hour of temptation that's going to come to all the world. So pray that the Lord gives you that, man. Pray that the Lord keeps you in His sights, that He's going to keep you from that time period, man. Go ahead.
Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
That's right. Behold, the Lord come quickly. And He's coming, man. Things are speeding up. Times are changing. Things are changing. People are doing exactly what the scripture said they was going to do. Nations are gearing up. Kings are rearing up. Allies are getting together. All right? This is happening, man. And it's again, we say it, we're going to continue to say, this is a beautiful time to be living, man, to be alive.
Go ahead. Especially in a time like you're saying, the scripture says that suddenly the sown places will be unsown. This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, and it reads, and the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished.
That's right. So He's going to deliver the godly out of the day of temptation, and the unjust, He's going to let them be punished, man. So know who you're dealing with, man. Know who your surroundings are. Keep yourself in good company with the men whom the Lord has selected. Right? There's no other group out there that can truly say that the Lord has selected these men. You gotta ask yourself, right? In the whole scheme of things, the Lord delivered His word down to men, right? He chose a group of men. Now, if you look out there and you look at the dynamics of all these groups that have been around for a few years with the head men, look at the track record. Look what they're teaching. Look what they're saying. Who you gotta go with? KRS said, you gotta go with the name you can simply trust. And that's Great Millstone, man. That's right. That's Great Millstone. Go ahead.
This is Micah 3:18. It says, then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not.
That's right. Him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not. So therefore, many men think they're going to, call upon a name or deliver the name that the Lord's not dealing with. Right? Got something else?
Yeah. This is Ezekiel 33 and 33. It says, and when this come to pass, and lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet had been among them.
Right, and we're going to end it with this. When these things that come to pass, lo, they will come. Then shall they know that a prophet had been among them. And again, we ain't looking for any kind of glory or no praises. We're just looking that we please Yahweh Shai, and that we as humble servants be found worthy to be delivered, man. That's all, man. and let the Lord's will be done, as that brother Wahan used to say. He don't care about nothing. He don't care if I make it on this side. I just want the will of the Lord to be done. That's all we care about. Right? So with that, Lord willing, everybody is edified. Prophecies, scriptures, testimony. We give it all. Every week we come out. And may we please Yahweh Shai, that we may be found worthy in that time. So with that, we give all praise to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
We'll see you brothers on the other side. We say Shalom.
Shalom.